Hello everybody, video here for you today. There's a ranch in northern Utah that's considered to be the epicenter of the strangest and most disturbing phenomena on Earth. Bizarre UFO sightings, animal mutilations, and unusual energies that have proven harmful to humans. The federal government tried and failed for 20 years to find answers, but now a new team of experts has taken over, determined to reveal the secret of Skinwalker Ranch. This is the Retro No Cap recap of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Season 1, Episode 5, called Dangerous Curves. Originally aired May 5th, 2020. For more Skinwalker Ranch recaps and previews, there's a playlist in the upper right. On June 29th, 2019 at 4:51 a.m., Dr. Travis Taylor's dog, William, starts barking, which results in Dr. Taylor getting out of bed to start recording and investigate. He later says that he began staying at the ranch so he could catch strange things happening. Once outside, he walks 30 or so feet out of the stationary camera range, then walks back saying he hears screeching in the background and that he is getting his spectrum analyzer from the camper to see if it picks up anything. Picks up a constant signal oscillating between 26 megahertz and 2 gigahertz. Dr. Taylor explains that it's like if all the radio stations were playing the same song at the same level. He has never seen anything like it. A few minutes shy of 4 hours later, he meets with members of the team to inform them and to suggest the presence of a wormhole as the cause, saying that's about the only thing he can think of to explain it. Albert Einstein and others have theorized that they exist, but it has not been proven yet. The energy needing to be present could account for some of the other strange things that have happened on the ranch. Ranch owner Brandon Fugel would later say that before the ownership was transferred in 2016, former owner Robert Bigelow told him that the ranch was the site of powerful forces that are not easily understood or characterized. His government-funded company did research on the ranch for 20 years. The information they gathered has not been made public nor provided to Fugel, but members of Bigelow's team and others before them have reported portals that show other skylines or landscapes in mid-air near these homestead buildings on the ranch. Dragon starts to say the wormhole theory is outlandish, but Dr. Taylor finishes the thought by saying it looks crazy and nuts, but it is the only theory they have that can account for many of the things they have seen and documented on the ranch. Dr. Taylor also says that a hypothesis has to be proven, and to that end points to his added drawing of the energy coming from underground and being directed into the sky above the ranch. He wants to get ground-penetrating radar and resistivity scans. 2 experts, one for each of those, arrive to do those scans. The team splits up and Dr. Taylor calls shotgun for the resistivity transportation. The bigger GPR unit is powered on and shows only 3 bars in the red, despite being fully charged before the trip to the ranch, an all too common occurrence there. The power was off until the expert just turned it on. He says the power would have to be on in order to use that much battery. The smaller unit was completely charged as well, but it is in the yellow. Dragon grabs it to attach to their vehicle before it goes dead. Caleb tells Eric that his phone has been acting weird for the past 2 or 3 minutes. It is registering very fast key presses and switching between apps all by itself. It was also in his contacts and tried calling and messaging a few of them, and at that moment was accessing the camera. After the resistivity group puts stakes in the ground and attaches electrical wiring to them, data collection is underway. The expert says they should start seeing something in about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, the smaller GPR unit is being pulled down Ranch Road and is at the triangle. Past the triangle and close to Homestead 2, the GPR detects this dome-shaped anomaly. It is shaded in red to see it more easily. When the second line shows up, the expert says it could be something bigger and metal. The GPR picks up another a little further down the road. The expert says it's pretty consistent, but they are several different depths underground. He says it doesn't look natural. The data is confirmed when the same results show up when they turn around and drive back. Eric later says the anomalies are from 8 to 25 feet below the surface, and we see a graphic depicting where they were picked up. The one with the two curved lines is at the spot where this Homestead 2 building is, right next to the road. It is the same spot in which they were trying to get a drone survey, but the drone would not connect to the base station. Dragon chimes in with, "Clear as mud, Eric. That's what this place is." The raw data for the resistivity survey shows some possible caves indicated in red. The expert says they will have more data after the information is processed. Eric walkie-talkies Thomas to request their presence at Homestead 2. Dr. Taylor's group will do between the buildings GPR, while Eric's group will move on to the mesa since it's getting late in the day. As they are climbing, Dragon says Eric loves this mesa. Eric says, "I do like it once I get to the top." The GPR scanning between the buildings reveals this anomaly, and Dr. Segala says it's right in line with the well. Dr. Taylor says if it even is a well. Brandon later tells of having visitors to the ranch and one separating from the group to investigate the well. Brandon looked for him eventually and found him standing up catatonic. Brandon yelled at him to wake up, and the visitor said he uncovered the well and then was paralyzed, then went to sleep. Dr. Taylor pulls the covering concrete slab off to see just dirty water. He says perhaps a septic tank. He and Dr. Scala cover it, and then he complains of a headache, saying there may be mold or mildew, so they go to the road where there is more airflow. Dr. Taylor checks his dosimeter, and it is beeping, showing he got hit with 120 millirads per second of radiation, the equivalent of 20,000 full-body X-ray scans at the airport. Dr. Scala has the same rate on his, but Dr. Taylor's dosimeter shows more accumulation. Dr. Taylor was right over the open well much longer. Dr. Taylor later says it really shook him up, and the next day he noticed red marks on his head and hand. His doctor confirmed that they were radiation burns. Another day later, they get the process data. We do not see any resistivity data or GPR from the Mesa, just the Homestead 2 GPR data. Dr. Taylor marks the high and low points of each parabola by putting paper over the TV and then connects them, revealing the shape of the object. The production team created this graphic so we can see it better. Dr. Taylor says it's like a large football or a saucer and is 1,000 feet long. Dragon points out that it almost perfectly matches the length of Homestead 2. Dr. Taylor also says it looks like a 2-story tall facility to him. Dr. Taylor wants to dig like he has from the start, but he agreed to collect data first, which they have done. Dragon again speaks against digging, being worried about his friends. Thomas tells him they would be constantly checking levels of dangerous energies and stop digging if there's a problem. Dr. Taylor and Dragon, just the two of them, call Brandon to give him the update. Dragon explains his concerns, but Dr. Taylor says it would not be a big dig, just an auger to get core samples, and they will stop and monitor conditions every 2 feet. Brandon agrees to allow the digging and puts Dragon in charge of making sure all the safety parameters are met. I'll continue the last 2 new episodes of Season 5 late Tuesday night, July 23rd, 2024, as well as these retro no-cap recaps of Seasons 1 through 4. I'm also doing retro no-cap recaps of The Curse of Oak Island, Seasons 7 and 8. All of the other seasons episodes are already done and are in my Oak Island playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment.